It's time for the first episode of our new series, Dad's Dinners. A whole series of amazing dishes that are inspired by dads in the kitchen, wanting to cook delicious food that kind of dads like to cook. They're staple favourites, but I'm going to show you how to not only make them amazing, slightly less fat, slightly less of the bad stuff, a little bit more of the good stuff, maximum flavour. Now in our house, the ultimate bake is a lasagna. Love it in our house. And I thought today I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely delicious lasagna. Less meat, more flavour. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, right, making a delicious lasagna. First thing you've got to do is get that bolognese sauce made. Now, this recipe will make more bolognese than you need for your lasagna, so it's perfect for like saving for a couple of days' time and having spag bol with the family. So, let's get our pan on the heat first. Onions, okay, it all kind of starts. Now, with Italian food, you've got like the trinity, the sofrito of ingredients, which is onion, celery, carrots, okay? So you've got those flavours. We need to kick it off with those. So, onion in half. And then we're going to slice it and then dice it, okay? Like a lasagna, Emily?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I love a lasagna.
Something really satisfying about a lasagna.
Yeah. Crispy bits on top.
Yeah. We kind of have our lasagna, put it down in the middle of the table, and then afterwards we all go in with a fork.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And we end up usually eating the top layer of lasagna off.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Because they're the best bits. And the kids never liked them at the beginning, but they've learned to like them, so now we have to share them. Right. Hello, Pip. What are you after? You heard the chop, didn't you? Right, so let's get this onion chopped up nice and fine. We've done this so many times, but do you know what? It's so important just to get it all chopped up nicely. Now, if you can't chop like this, or you don't want to, try grating it on a really coarse grater. Does the same job. Chuck it on the food processor. You could blitz it. Right, we'll get some rapeseed oil in there. So just a really mild oil. You don't need extra virgin olive oil because you're just wasting your money, to be honest. And then let's get these onions in. Love that sound. Right, in with the onions. Now let's season those onions up with a bit of salt. Get them drawn out. There we go. Give it a little shake. So that's our 4-litre pan that we're using, the shallow cast aluminium, and the duck egg blue, which is rather nice. So, carrots in. Now, carrots will be the one that takes the longest to cook. Here you go. Sit. There you go. Like her to make a little appearance. That's it, she's gone. She's got what she wants, she's off. Right. Pip, can you eat quietly? Right, there we go. So cut the carrots into really fine little matchsticks. And then we will turn them the other way and chop them the other way as well. So bundle them all back together. And then chop away. I like to chop them really, really small. Partly because we don't want the kids to fish out all the carrots and the veggies. I want to kind of cut them really fine so that the mince and the beef and everything else are all the same size and it all kind of blends in together. So take your time and chop them really, really nice fine. It's a good opportunity to practice your knife skills.
Again, can you grate this if you don't feel
Yeah,
confident?
totally. And to be honest, if I wasn't on camera doing it this way, I'd probably chuck it all in the food processor, to be honest, and just blitz it down really quick. But it's really noisy, and Carlos doesn't like the audio, so we're doing it by hand. It's too noisy, isn't it, Carlos?
A little bit.
You're practicing your knife skills too.
No, well, you know, I do get a fair bit of practicing. Right, okay. Right, celery. So this will give us a really nice sort of savoury flavour. So again, chop them into little pieces one way. And then we'll chop them and dice them really, really fine, because my kids will try and fish these out, but if I chop them fine enough, they can't. My mother used to just cut them into big fat slices, and we just used to fish them out.
Oh, see, I love eating celery raw. With a dip.
Oh no. I like celery in. I think it really adds more flavour to things, but I like to cook it down. Okay, right. So in with our celery. Right, let's give this a little stir. The salt will have started to do its thing, and it'll have drawn the moisture out, which means the cooking process will be quicker, more even. Off it goes. Right, let's just grab a little cloth, give this a wipe down, tidy as we go. Right, there we go. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so garlic. Nice big fat cloves of garlic. Go 3. They're quite big, these ones. So 3. If you've got smaller ones, go 4. Give them a little crack like that. And then you should just be able to unwrap the garlic really easily. Okay? There we go. Do not use dried garlic. Do not use lazy garlic that's pre-chopped. Use fresh.
What about frozen?
No frozen garlic. Use fresh. There is no excuse, Emily. It should be a New Year's resolution. Fresh garlic.
I've used fresh garlic most of the time. I only use frozen if I don't have any in, which is very rarely, to be fair.
Everyone should have garlic in their fridge. I can imagine the messages now as we speak. They will be coming through on the comments on this recipe. I don't like garlic. Kerry doesn't like garlic. I know. But you've got to have garlic in your Italian cooking. Right, in with our garlic. Don't we, Pip, eh? Fresh rosemary. Rosemary and beef go really, really well together. A lot of people will just put rosemary and lamb together or something like that. But beef, pork, lamb, rosemary loves it.
With pork?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, really, really nice. Pork and rosemary and sage with pork. Rosemary with lamb, we all know. Beef works really well with rosemary and thyme. Loves it. I'm going to throw a few bay leaves in it. I'm going to keep 3 for our white sauce. We'll fish those out later. And then some fresh thyme. These are pretty much the only herbs in the garden that are growing at the moment. So if you've got them in the garden, use them.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they'll survive. Certainly in the UK, they'll survive all winter long, but that's about it. The mint's gone, the sage is gone. It'll come back, but we've got a little bit more winter to go yet. So let's just chop this rosemary up. There we go. So we've got a really good foundation of flavours. So in with our rosemary.
It smells really good.
Okay, so we've got our rosemary and our thyme. Let's just give that a really good stir. Get all those flavours working. Oh, it smells so good. Right, so what I'm going to do is push all the veggies to the corners to the edges, okay? I want to see, can you see that, Emily?
Yeah.
I want to see the pan, okay? Because I don't want the beef to stew in the veggies. I want it to sear. So what we've got to do is get it straight on the pan. Now, I've bought 250 grams of lean minced beef. You could use minced turkey, you could use minced pork, you could use minced chicken if you prefer. But I wanted to show you a way of using minced beef, lean, but less of it, okay? So bear with me. 250 grams is like probably half what you would normally use. So let's get that in. Straight onto the worktop. Sorry, straight onto into the bottom of the pan. A little drizzle of oil just to help it along. And don't touch it yet, all right? We've got it on number 7 out of 9 on the hob. Just kind of let it sear, let it start to kind of caramelize. We want to get flavour in here, you see. And if you just dump the minced beef on top of the veggies and mix it all up, all the juices and the hydration from the vegetables are going to go into the beef and it's just going to kind of stew. Whereas now, the beef is searing. That dark caramelization, and that means flavour. All right? So don't touch it. Now, while that's happening, let me tell you about what's happening in our world. We have just signed a new book deal. Now, I know loads of you out there have been saying, thanks very much for the PDF books, we love it, but are you going to print a book? And yes, we are. September is our launch date, isn't it, for Peter Sidwell's Kitchen, Volume 1. We are working on it. We are this deep at the moment into book covers, aren't we?
Yep.
And we think we've got a beauty of a book cover coming for you. We cannot wait to share more of it. And as the journey along the year goes, you will get glimpses of the book, some of my most sort of requested recipes from the past. How long have we been doing this? Is it 3 years or 2 years? It must be nearly 3 years.
Yeah.
We started Peter Sidwell's Kitchen in lockdown. And it has grown and grown and grown. So thank you for following us, watching us, sharing it, liking it, all those things. We really appreciate it. We're now at that point where we feel we can get that book on the go. And it's on its way. So stay tuned. We'll share little clips, little glimpses. We might put out the cover just to ask your opinion and see what you think. We might, you know, any requests for recipes, send them in. We'll see what we can do. Right. Can you have a look, cut into here, Emily?
Yeah.
Let's have a little look and see what's going on. Yeah. So, let's get that on the high heat. So, you can see I haven't touched it yet at all, not one bit. And you can see the bottom. Can you see the bottom there? It's starting to sear. Now I'm going to start to break the beef up a little bit. Just get a wooden spoon and just start to do this. Don't mix those veggies in yet though, okay? Let's just start to break it down. The more colour you get on the beef, the nicer it will be. Look, where's the camera, Emily? Which one?
Just put your fan on.
Magic. There we go. Can you see the colour there that we're getting on that?
Yeah.
That colour equals flavour. So don't be afraid to cook that beef hard. Now we're going to start to stir it in. Okay? Now is when you start to bring everything together. And that's how you do it without then taking all the veggies out, putting the beef in, then putting the veggies back in. It's use a nice, big, shallow pan, move the veggies to the edge, and that means you've got space to sear, which is why I love this pan. So versatile. So give it a stir and get all those flavours working together now. Smells so good. Right, okay, so we've only done 250 grams of beef, which is about half what you would normally use. We're going to add some cooked pui lentils, okay? And these are great. They're full of iron. They're really good for you, full of fibre, which means we've used half the amount of beef, which I think is a good thing. And we've added more nutritional value than the beef, I think, by adding the lentils in. And to be honest, once you get all the sauce and everything in, you won't even notice. You won't know the difference.
Does it have to be pui lentils?
It doesn't have to be, but these are the darker ones and they're kind of the same colour. I've done it for that reason. But I'll scatter them in and you'll be able to see. Do you see they're quite dark?
Yeah.
They're dark, Carlos. Chuckling away. What are they, Emily?
It's dark.
It's dark. Oh, right, stir it all in and let it all work together now. Okay. So again, I'm going to make a space at the bottom and I'm going to get some wine in. Now we've got some Beefsteak Club. We work with Beefsteak Club, so we develop recipes that either work with cooking with their wine or are perfect with their wine. They're amazing bottles of wine, great value for money, really big flavours. Love this one. This is a Shiraz, this one. They're not expensive. They're great value for money. You can get them in most supermarkets across the UK. I think you can even get them, you know, in other places overseas as well. So, a little bit of red wine in there. In it goes. There you go. That's an Emily-sized glass, that one.
Yep.
It's about right, isn't it? Put that back. And let's get that up to the boil. Now, we will boil the alcohol out. So all you're left with is flavour. It's really important that when you are cooking with wine, when you add the wine, you bring it up to the boil, you get rid of the alcohol, and you're just left with flavour. Okay? So we'll give that a stir. It's on full heat. That will get up to the boil. Right. Tin of tomatoes. So this is 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes. That wine is boiling out now, which is good. That's what we want. And then in with our tomatoes. Then fill your tin with water, okay? Full of water. That means we don't waste anything. And then that can go in as well. In with a stock cube. Okay, you can go beef or chicken or vegetable. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't matter. Just adding depth of flavour. Now, the other little addition. So, with Dad's dinners, we're trying to get big flavours in, but we're trying to reduce maybe like sugar, fat, salt, things like that. So, what I've decided to do to add to this dish is a couple of anchovies. Salted anchovies, not pickled. So these are the little ones in the tins that you get on the shelf in the supermarket.
These ones you like to put on pizzas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Love an anchovy. They're really salt. They're packed in salt and then they're preserved, okay? So they break down. They're high in calcium. They're rich in umami. And what they're going to do is just... Can you see that, Emily? Do you see how they just break up?
Yeah.
They're just going to melt away. Now... some people will go, whoa, I don't like anchovy. You will not taste it. All you will taste is an amazingly rich bolognese, okay? So trust me, put a couple of anchovies in and it just bumps up the umami, the richness, the savoury flavour. Right, just wash my hands. Right, okay, that's simmering away. Last addition to our ragu. Just a bit more value. Nutritional value is where we're trying to get with this series. So, take your courgette. Don't grate it long. Otherwise, you end up with long slithers. And kids don't like that. Horizontal. Just grate the courgette. Okay? Pip's got her eye on the last piece, haven't you? Hey? You going to sit for me? Oh, how obedient. I wonder if Carlos can get a cutaway of you sitting like a good dog one day. And we could just use that every time. Right, Pip. Ready? There we go.
There she is.
Right, so, and a final little trick. If you need to hide this even more, just chop it. And it will just blend into the sauce. And bless them, the little ones will never know they've eaten onion, carrot, celery, courgette, anchovy. It's just the little parent tricks, isn't it? Some of us have to do it, some of us don't. There we go, look at that. That'll just disappear into our lovely sauce. And we've just got another vegetable in there, which can only be a good thing for all of us, not just the kids. Just stir all that in and it will just cook down. It's only going to take about 20 minutes to cook down. If there's this particular recipe, I say this to people all the time when I'm out and about cooking, if there's a particular recipe that I've made and I haven't put it somewhere obvious, just message me. I'll find it for you. Okay. So let's plonk the lid on there and let's cook that out for 20 minutes. We will then have a little taste of it. We'll adjust the seasoning, make sure it's delicious and it's ready to go. Right, my ragu is simmering away gently. I've just moved the lid to one side, which lets the steam out, which allows the sauce to reduce a touch, okay? Now it's time to make the white sauce. Once we've done that, we're ready to build the lasagna. Once we've done that, it's in the oven, all right? So first thing we need to do is get some milk. Now, we're trying to make everything just that little bit better for us, okay? So we can still enjoy the food we crave, but we've made lots of little adjustments. Put all those adjustments together and it makes a big difference. So, in with a pint of skimmed milk, okay? Now, normally with a bechamel sauce, which is a white sauce, you would add butter, flour, you would cook it out, and then you'd add your milk and all that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to get rid of the butter, all right? Because I'd rather have cheese than butter in it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
More cheese, less butter, all right? So we're going to take some flour, plain flour, 30 grams should be enough, and we're going to whisk it in before the milk gets hot. Because if you do it when the milk is boiling, it'll just swell instantly when it hits it. Whereas if you do it when it's cold, then it will just blend in nicely, all right? Now this goes against all the culinary traditions of making a white sauce, so I'm sorry.
It really does, doesn't it?
It really does. But you will get the same end result of a thick white sauce. Yeah. But we're on skimmed milk, a little bit of flour, no butter this time. And to be fair, I quite like adding butter to my cooking, but I'd rather have a healthier lasagna than not have it. There you go.
That was very philosophical.
Nutmeg. Little nutmeg. It's nice to add to your bechamel. All right, so let's add a little bit. Don't need loads, because you don't want it to sort of taste just of nutmeg.
Christmas.
Like, yeah, we've had enough of nutmeg, haven't we? We've just had 2 weeks of it. So you'll probably have some left, but just like 1/4 of a nutmeg in there. And then we'll season our white sauce up. A little bit of salt, not a lot, that'll do. And then a little bit of pepper. Right, let's whisk this together. So we've got salt, pepper, nutmeg, milk, flour in there. Bring it up to the boil on a medium heat. Keep it moving, otherwise the bottom will catch. And let it thicken, okay? Right, let's just nip to the fridge. I'm gonna get controversial now. How do you feel about that?
Ooh.
Little bit of mustard. Little bit. Dijon, because it'll just melt into it, all right? And it won't be a primary flavour. 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon. Just give that a little whisk. Okay. Let's rinse this one off.
Ooh, excuse me.
Right, okay. So it's just starting to come up to the boil, which is good. So this is the crucial point. You do not want it to catch, okay? Which is why you've got to keep it moving and make sure it just thickens nicely. The temperature is evenly distributed through. You could make mac and cheese this same way as well. If If you want to make it a little bit healthier, do it this way.
Is the butter there to purely just add flavour?
So, traditionally in French cooking, you would melt the butter, add the flour. That allows you to cook the flour out without it just scorching on a heat.
Yeah.
Then you add milk that's been infused with onion and bay and clove.
Oh.
Is the traditional, like, college 101 traditional French style way of doing it. I think it's really for that. I mean, the butter will add some richness, some flavour to it, but not primary.
Yeah.
So if we're trying to still have a really tasty lasagna, but we're trying to cut
That's
a few
something you can cut out.
culinary corners and bits and bobs, it's an easy win. Pull the butter out, do it this way.
But it's thickened like a white sauce,
Yeah?
isn't it?
What does it look like now? It just looks like a white sauce, doesn't it?
Wow.
There you go, change your world, doesn't it, Emily?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sauce is thickened now. I've turned it down to number 2. I don't want it off, but I don't want it to boil continually because it will scorch. The starches will catch on the bottom of the pan and it'll burn. That's bang on. Now, cheese. Again, I've got a little win. This cheese is 30% less fat. Okay, it's a straightforward cheddar. You can either do one of two things. Less cheese or 30% less fat cheese, which actually doesn't taste too bad. I actually think the only difference is the texture.
Yeah.
The flavour is still there. So if you're going to cook with the 30% less, and you're not going to know the difference. I promise
always
you.
use 30% less fat. No, I can
Yeah?
never tell, especially when I'm cooking
It's
with
an
it.
easy win, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? So we're going to grate it. We're going to use half in the sauce and half on the top. Okay? There we go. That will do. Right. So, you could also, as well, if you don't want to mess about with sort of low-fat cheese, use Parmesan. It's better for you than cheddar in terms of the high-fat content because it's more hydrated, it's got more flavour in it, it's stronger in taste, and you'll use less. But for me, quick win. Cheese sauce, less fat. There we go, that's how you do it. So whisk that in until that cheese melts and you've got a white sauce ready to go. And a spill. Look at that. Mucky pup. Okay, so that will just melt down. Switch that off. And we're good to go. Let's keep that cheese there. Ready for the top of our lasagna. Okay. Right, got a decent dish here. I've got wholemeal lasagna sheets, dried. Again, easy win. Okay? High fibre. Fibre is the keystone to everything. If your fibre content is high, your absorption ability of all the nutrients that you eat and all the fibre a day that you eat is going to absorb into your body better if you are getting as much fibre as possible. So, wholemeal pasta is another easy win. All right? So, little splash of white sauce in the bottom. There we go. And then some sheets of lasagna. So that, I'm just going to nick the edges. Let's push that white sauce that way and that way. There we go. So we're going to create a base. So 3 pieces and just nick your corners off like that. And then it'll fit like so. This is controversial as well, this, because everybody seems to have a different
way of laying
order. And yeah, exactly. What are you thinking, Emily? Is this messing you with your head?
No, I think that's what
You're all right?
at home, yeah.
Right, let's check out this sauce. So it's cooked. Now, don't over-reduce your sauce too much. Because we've got dried pasta, it needs good hydration. So it doesn't want to be a really thick ragu. You want some liquid in there. You want to try this?
Yeah.
Carlos?
Always.
Always. There you go. Have a little try. That is, in essence, a very simple bolognese. There you go, Carlos. A very simple bolognese that's versatile. You can use it for all sorts of stuff, can't you?
It's got loads of flavour.
Yeah? big flavours, high nutritional value. A win-win. Or as Mitch Turner, my good friend from Britain's Best Bakery, would say, a win double. Bless her. Whatever one of them is. Okay, right. In with some of our lasagna. No, in with some of our sauce. Good flavour in that, isn't there? Right. Okay, so on with our sheets of lasagna. So this dish is perfect for 3 pieces. Always remember to nick your corners. Okay, and then in with some sauce. Now, we're going to go in with an extra layer of pasta.
Ooh, that is controversial.
Is it? See, this is how I was taught.
Pasta that close together?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Oh, it's hurting her head.
Controversial.
I know. More nutritional value, extra fibre. The more layers you can do, the less bolognese you will use as well. Let's not forget. But it may well all be about the meat sauce, is it?
Yeah.
There
Nice,
we go.
Even layers. As long as it's even.
Nice even layers. See, I can get another layer in here now, so I can get 3 layers. 3 is the magic number. There we go.
Song in there somewhere.
There is. Do you remember the magic numbers?
It's magic.
Oh no, it's a different song. I'm thinking of a different song to you.
Oh.
More sauce.
Yeah.
There we go. Nick the corners off. Use the sheet to spread the sauce. There we go. Let's get some more of that. 1, 2, 3. Right, this is the last layer of bolognese. Okay. Do you have a lasagna in Spain, Carlos?
Yeah.
You probably do eat Italian food, do you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone does, don't they?
Mediterranean.
Yeah.
A lot of recipes are really similar.
Yeah. Right. Almost there. Okay. So there we go. Right, last. Now, it's so important that you've got to now. What you find with a lot of dishes is they move up like that. So you might find that it doesn't quite look at that all the way. And I've got a gap down the middle now.
So why does it do that?
Because the tin go up like that slightly.
Right,
or
okay.
the dish. So, but it's okay. We have ways and means. We can address this. Okay. So it's important that you get a full coverage on this. Tell you what, I do tease my mum on this show, don't I, about about her cooking, don't I?
Yeah.
She does make a good lasagna.
Does she?
Grandma, Daphne, I will give you your due. You make a good lasagna. Not that I've tried it in some considerable time, might add. But you know, you do make a good lasagna. Right.
Cheese sauce, yeah.
Cheese
the best bit of a
sauce.
lasagna.
Are you ready? Do you want that camera angle, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Tell me when. Right, last of the cheese sauce. On it goes. Let it flood. It's going to drop into all the little gaps underneath that sheet, yeah? Oh, even the dog's sighing at me. It's like, come on.
Oh,
There you go.
get in there.
Let it settle. Because there's like gaps there. On with the cheese. And now into the oven. I'm going to bake this at 160 fan, so slightly lower. If you haven't got a fan oven, it's going to be like 180. But fans are more efficient, so we use AEG fan ovens. So 160 for between 40 minutes up to an hour. The way to check if your lasagna is cooked is take a knife, okay, like that, with a sort of smooth tip. Just push it through. If it glides through effortlessly, it's cooked. If it's like, I can't get it through, turn the oven down, leave it in. But don't use a sharp knife, because a sharp knife will just go in, won't it? So, blunt knife, butter knife, push it in. If it's nice and soft, easily in, you're good to go. Right, the lasagna's been in the oven 45 minutes. My kitchen smells amazing. Let's see how it looks. Ooh, it's bubbling. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That is what a lasagna should look like. Let me close my oven door. And let's serve a portion of this up. See, that to me looks like a good lasagna. Imagine bringing that to your table, family sat around, everybody's ready to tuck in with their knives and forks, ready to go. You've made, it's rich, it's bubbly, it's delicious, it's warming, and we have added so much nutritional value. We've removed bits and bobs here and there to make it a little bit healthier. It's going to be amazing. So, lasagna. I always think it's worth kind of running the knife round. Look at that. Listen to the crispy bits, Carlos. Oh, we like a crispy bit. It's all about the crispy bits, if you ask me. My kids didn't used to like the crispy bits. And me and Emma were like, oh, brilliant, we'll have them all.
Oh,
now they like them. Now we have to share them. Okay, so let's cut this. I always think the thing with the lasagna is you kind of got to wait 5 or 10 minutes really to serve it, but we haven't got that time. You need to get to the shops and get the ingredients. Do you know what I think we need to do, Carlos? We need to run a competition for Dad's dinners. I want a picture of a dad with the lasagna, okay? And I'm going to randomly pick a winner, and in September, you're going to get a free, personalised, signed book of Peter Sidwell's kitchen. So, get your dad making this. Take a picture of him, and there you go. Enter my competition. Okay, right. See if I can get all these layers of lasagna. I wonder what Emily's going to think. My lasagna layering technique was controversial, wasn't it, Emily? Yeah. Look at that. Can you see that, Carlos?
Yes.
Look at that. That's a lasagna, that. There we go. There you go. A bit of Dad's dinner. I will see you on the next episode.